How does a bad language learner become a good language learner? What do you have to do to learn languages? At school, I was terrible. I never passed any language exams at all. Now I speak French, Spanish, English, and I'm learning Polish, which is a really difficult language. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 things that I do to learn Polish. They're similar things that I used when learning French and Spanish. I think if you follow these ideas, then it's really going to help you. And these are really tips from someone who wasn't a natural language learner. So I've really had to work at learning languages. Hope you like the video. And if you do, please share it. Please like it. And of course, please comment on it and join me on my YouTube channel. Let's get started. So I'm going to start with a few tips about YouTube that you might not have realized. First of all, I'm going to show you in a minute how you can search for videos that have subtitles, but I'm also going to show you a couple of tricks with those subtitles. And let me show you straight away one of those tricks. So this is a great channel that I found for learning Polish. But look at this, and you can do this in any language if you search for the right types of videos. I'm going to click on Show Transcript. And I've now got the transcript here on the right hand side, and it's quite interesting because you can actually set the transcript to function. If you notice here, what I've done is I've set the language of the transcripts on the actual video to Polish, but I've got the transcripts in English. Now this is sometimes possible, not always, but I'm going to show you a little trick when you search for them. So I can click here and change the subtitled language to either Polish or English, notice. So I choose to have it in Polish. This really helps me when the person is speaking and I can read at the same time. But to really help me, I've actually got the translation here. And one of the things about this transcript, which you can open here, so you can open the transcript on the side here, is that if you click on the transcript, it will take you to that part of the video. So if I play this video a minute.
Ja jestem Ania, jestem nauczycielką języka i taką lekturę chciałabym Wam dzisiaj. Ja jestem Ania, jestem nauczycielką.
So this is absolutely brilliant. Now I'm going to show you another brilliant trick with these subtitles in a minute, but that's one of the things that I do. Now, how do I actually look for videos that have got subtitles? Is there a method? And yes, there is. So to do this, I'm gonna show you this in English. Let's say I was looking for shopping in English, okay? So I was learning English and I want shopping videos, okay? Very typical kind of subject. What I can actually do is I can click here on filters, and then I can be very specific and I can say, right, I want, for example, only videos that have got subtitles. So I click here. And then I might click on the filter as well and say to myself, only videos between 4 and 20 minutes. I think videos that are longer than 20 minutes are just too long. In fact, sometimes I even search for really short videos, but I click here. And immediately now I get a completely different set of videos, and I can even see that these videos have got subtitles because it tells me. So if I click on this video, for example,
To hit that subscribe.
so you can see that this video's got subtitles in it. And what I can do this now is that I can click here and I can click on Show Transcript. Now in this one, there's only the option of watching or having the subtitles on the right in English and the subtitles on the screen as well in English. Let me click here though. And if you notice, sometimes, not always, you do have the option to auto-translate. That is, that it will kind of automatically translate the language into another language. Now, it might not do it perfectly, but it can really help you a lot. Let me just show you this. Let's do an auto-transcript, for example, into Spanish. So I'm going to jump down to Spanish. So what I'm now going to have is the language in Spanish on the screen, but an English on the side. That is a possibility. You have to look, and it does depend a little bit on what settings the person that put the video up. But learning to filter when you're searching for videos will help you to find videos that have got subtitles. Now I'm going to show you another excellent trick with the subtitles that you might not be aware of. Now I'm going to show you a great trick, because what I actually do is I copy any phrases that I don't know and I put them into Google Translate. If I jump over to Google Translate, you'll see here I've got all these phrases. See, obviously I'm learning Polish, but this could be any language. So I've got the phrases all saved here, and look what Google Translate does.
Tworzy miłą atmosferę. Zabytki przyciągają turystów. Moje rodzeństwo jest otyłe.
Okay, so I've basically collected together all the phrases from the video that I was watching in Polish, and I've put them into Google Translate, and here I can study them. And I'm going to show you in a minute another trick that we can do with Google Translate and connect it to Quizlet, which is even more interesting. But let me start by showing you this trick. So let me just do an example. Let's imagine, for example, that we're learning English and that we're a Spanish person. So I'm going to set this to English and then the translation to Spanish. Okay, let's say I'm studying this video here and I have trouble with this phrase here. Okay, so let's copy that phrase, and notice I can do that really easy. Just hold my mouse over, copy the phrase, and then I can add that straight into Google Translate. So I just paste it in, and it gives me immediately a translation. Now, it doesn't matter if the translation's not perfect, as long as you basically understand the phrase and it seems to fit the context of the video that you were watching, then it's probably good enough. It's not always going to be word for word perfect. That isn't the idea, because you're studying the English phrase, not the translation. But it gives you a really strong indication of what the meaning is, and then what you can do is click here. Now, with the very popular languages like Spanish and French and English and German, etc., the translations tend to be very good anyway, and obviously the more people that use Google, the better the translations become. Now, when I click on this button here, it adds that into my phrase list, and I can open my phrase list at any time. So I can close my phrase list, and if I want to study, so when I wake up in the morning and think, okay, I want to study my new vocabulary that I created yesterday, I click here and I have all the phrases, and this is exactly what I did this morning. I went through all of these phrases.
Ona jest mężatką. Moja szwagierka pracuje w szpitalu.
Okay, and I can practice, and obviously I can repeat. Now, there's a really clever trick that you can do between Google Translate and working with Quizlet 2. One thing on YouTube, there are actually many other features that it's got. You can subscribe to channels. You can create playlists in YouTube of all your favorite videos for learning languages. And if you're interested in that, I'm going to put a video on the screen now that you can click on, and it shows you how to make playlists, because playlists is another thing that I do when learning languages. What I'm going to do now in this video is show you a great trick of how you can connect Google Translate to Quizlet. Just a super quick break from the video. If you like what you see, please come to teachertrainingvideos.com. Loads of free material. There's a special section on languages here at the top of the screen, and lots of suggestions for websites, interesting apps, methods for learning languages. You can find out about my courses here on the front page. You can also sign up to my newsletter. You get updated with all the latest blog posts, the latest online courses, but also the free webinars that I often run suggesting different apps that we can use for language learning. You can also, of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel from the website. And finally, I do have a free blog that you'll find at the bottom of the page where I write about language learning and language teaching. Right, let's get back to the video. So I've got about 12 phrases here actually now. I've just added a couple of extra ones in that I want to study, and I'm ready now to move these into Quizlet. Now all I need to do is to click on this button here, and what that does is it brings them into something called Google Sheets. It simply opens up a Google Sheet. Now the only thing you need to do is widen these two, so just pull that one open and this one here, so widen these two columns so that you can see all of the words clearly. I have all the words in English on one side and all the words in Polish on the other. Notice I don't study words in isolation. I like to study phrases so that I can hear the word in a phrase, and of course it means that I'm also revising vocabulary that I need to keep reminding myself of anyway. And all I've done is I'm selecting all those words. Now all you need to do that, there's various ways, is you can just hold down your mouse and just select them. You only need to select the two middle columns, click on the right and copy. Now we're going to come over to Google Translate. So we go over to a Quizlet account. I just have a completely free account. I'm going to click on the create button. So I'm just going to click here, click on study sets, and I'm going to call this one, give it a name because that way you can easily find it. So I'm going to call this one New Words 8th August. And most of these words are around family. I just click on this button here. That's all I need to do, and I'm going to paste in all of those words. So I've got the sentence in Polish and the sentence in English, and I click on import, and that is immediately done. Now one little tip: if you go to the top here, notice if you just click here and it kind of activates it and tells it, okay, that's English, and just do the same for every one. You just need to do this really quickly. Just go through it and notice it says English, Polish, English, Polish. Just quickly click at the end of each sentence to activate the languages. I don't know why it doesn't do it automatically, but it doesn't. And it is important because it means then that you can also use the audio, and you'll see that in a minute. Okay, so you've just quickly gone through all the words. My tip is not to do more than about 12 words. Now once you've done that, and that little tip, you do need to do that, click on create, and you're now ready. Now I'm going to give you some great tips now about using Quizlet and the way that I use it. Now I'm going to show you a few tips with working with Quizlet. If we click on flashcards, and that's the best way to start, what a lot of people don't realize is that you've got some really useful options over here. So what you do is you need to click on options, and you do have the choice here, if you want, of coming down to the audio, and if I just scroll down a little bit, we turn the audio on, and then go to advanced, and I always turn the audio off for English because I know English, of course, and I'm learning Polish. Notice you can also slow it down, and sometimes that's actually quite useful. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer with English. In other words, I'm going to see the phrase in Polish first and hear it and then translate it. That's the first type of activity that I would do. So now if I click through to the next one,
Mój wnuk jest kochany przez wszystkich.
And you can hear that I can see the word or the sentence in Polish. I can think of the translation. I can listen again by clicking here.
Mój wnuk jest kochany przez wszystkich.
Okay, so that is my grandson is loved by everybody. I click here and it says the sentence. Then I can move on to the next one.
Mój wolny czas pozwala mi często odwiedzać rodzinę.
So my free time allows me to often visit my family. So again, if I want to check if I got that right. Now that's one option, but of course there are many other games that you can play. On the screen now, I'm putting up a video to show you some great ways of working with Quizlet. So more detailed videos about creating an account and the different types of games that you can play with Quizlet. Because there are actually a series of different games that you can play. But those tips that I've just given you for the audio are absolutely brilliant, and they're really going to help you a lot. Now, one thing I often do is work in a circle. So once I've studied the vocabulary from the video, I go back and watch the video again. So I often repeat the same process of watching the video, pulling out the words, putting those words into Google Translate, then into Quizlet, practicing the words, studying them, and then going back to the same video again and seeing if I understand it better. Okay, really hope you liked that video. Please come to teachertrainingvideos.com. Loads more free videos. As I've said, there is a special section on working with languages here at the top of the screen. You can also find out about all my courses. You can also join my newsletter. There's about 10,000 people subscribed to the newsletter. And of course, you can sign up to my YouTube channel. If you do want to contact me for any reason, you can contact me from the website. I'm also going to put on the screen now a couple of really interesting videos for language learners that might be useful to you and you might want to click on and watch. Thank you very much.